Yes, it's the 13th day of December 2021. We are gradually inching towards Christmas, and as a matter of fact, the end of the year, that's 2020. In the next 21 days, we'll be transiting to a fresh new year. Yeah, we pray to Almighty God to actually make it possible for all of us to actually witness 2022. My name is Banji Busari. Jumoke will be joining us on Wednesday. Yes, she has to attend to very important assignment outside the studio. You are welcome. We are all aware of what's actually happening. It's the era of diplomatic row. Nigeria is actually looking UK in the eye, and it's like we are trying to see who blinks first. Is it Nigeria or UK? In a retaliatory move, Nigeria has actually placed ban on UK and is extending it to Canada and Saudi Arabia, amongst other countries, based on the earlier travel ban placed on Nigeria by the countries mentioned. Yeah. Whether rightly or wrongly, Nigeria is actually set to effect that ban commencing tomorrow, that's 14th December 2021. So many people have actually reacted to it, and that's going to be our focus today on the program. But it's not just going to be about the travel ban or other reasons. We're also going to look at Nigeria. That's among other issues. Insecurity has actually refused to leave us. And in Zamfara state, as we speak, the bandits are actually expanding their territories, introducing terrorism insurance. That is, those who are able to pay for their safety, for their well-being, will go about free. That's about their daily activities free. But those who dare, or those who do not comply with the fees or levies placed by the bandits. Of course, it's not just about Zamfara. It has happened in Sokoto, it's happened in Katsina, virtually all the ravaged states. That's the one being controlled by the bandits and insurgents. But how long should this continue? These are the issues on today's edition of the program, and I have a very competent guest, somebody you know very well, of course. When we have important issues, we shop for him, and he's always available. It's my pleasure to welcome to the show Barrister Jide Ologun. It's our pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to be here too.
Yeah, I'm sure you've traveled in and out Nigeria several times. I am not sure whether you are also planning to travel again. When that decision was announced by the Minister of Aviation, that's Adi Shirika, that Nigeria will no longer tolerate a situation where a ban is placed on it, yet those countries that are placing ban on Nigeria are coming in with commercial flights, that it's smacks of maybe a moral issue, that those countries do not have the moral right to fly into this country. Who are they actually coming to pick? That's his question. For that reason, Nigeria is also placing a retaliatory ban commencing tomorrow. So what was your first reaction?
You know, you should expect that, knowing that the UK and Nigeria, they are sovereign regions. And of course, even when you don't have the muscle, you want to flex the muscle. So, and if UK has given the reasons for the actions they are taking, which is not unconnected with the Omicron outbreak, and they are saying they want to secure their environment, and Nigeria is now saying that we also will slam a ban on you, probably looking at the reputational implication and the economic implication. But the big question we should ask is that who stands to lose more? You know, and the big lesson is that we should also develop our nation to be able to have the facilities we keep rushing to the UK to enjoy, and think through our policy decisions. I recall that in 2019, we had this row with the United States of America that slammed us with reciprocity fee on visa, and we quickly surpassed that on our own, you know, because at that point in time, it was an embarrassment to the US. And I also recall that we came up with the land border closure policy that really, at the end of the day, reportedly, we lost about 1.3 trillion naira to smugglers. Because from the research we did, probably those who really benefited from the closure, not the generality of people, not even the government that was out to enhance and empower local capacity. There were those who could settle their ways through the officials and the border towns and the smugglers. I just told you about 1.3 trillion naira. At the end of the day, the government also confessed that there wasn't much gain from that decision. In fact, while the land borders were shut, we read reports that in the northern part of the country, the borders were open. So when you look at all this and look at the fact that I think right now we have lost about 306 billion naira to the Twitter ban. You see, so in about 124 days, that was the report then. So when you look at this, then you must begin to advise the Nigerian government that is it not time you look inwards and imagine that someday you are isolated from the world. How can you cope? Do you have the prosperity to care for your people? And that's on one side. The other side, yesterday I was discussing with a client in the UK who is affected by this ban and threat of ban. She wanted to come home and she told me she was bringing money to come and invest here. When they come like that, those in diaspora, they bring the currencies, they help their relations, build houses, buy land. So they oil the economic environment. That may not happen. But that is not to say they may still not come. But Nigeria may not benefit as much as we should because they may come in through Ghana, come in through Togo, come in through Benin Republic, into Nigeria. Because that was what many people did when there were no direct flights from Nigeria to some countries. Just go to Ghana. From Ghana, you buy your ticket and go. So you can imagine the cost of lodging in the hotel, greasing the economy of that nation. So we need to sit down and see how we can create a robust reputation of a nation.
Before we actually think of how to actually exit this row, is it true? Can you discountenance the fact that the ban was discriminatory?
How can it be discriminatory? Britain remains the former colonial master of Nigeria. Nigeria is so important to Britain. Till now, we don't know how much we spend as a nation to take care of the health of our president in the UK. I have said it, that if you want to be sincere, Nigeria subsidizes the economies of many countries, even though we are labeled as the capital of poverty. Do you know the number of children of Nigerian leaders that are schooled in the UK? Do you know the number of houses our leaders have bought in the UK, paying taxes? Do you know the investments they have lodged there? At the time, the vice president had to go and consult the president in the UK and flew back to Nigeria. We know these things. So, by and large, UK at any point in time stands to gain more. So if at this point they are saying because of Omicron pandemic that they want to be proactive, I don't think there is anything bad in that. So for us to now see it like they are trying to embarrass us, maybe and maybe not. But at any point in time, if we are desperate to go into their country, it means something is wrong. I learned this morning that the Prime Minister of the UK is likely to have tested positive to Omicron virus. Are they bringing him to Nigeria for treatment? The answer is no. When he tested positive to COVID-19, he was treated in public hospital in the UK. We should learn from all this. Even when you are in the Committee of Nations, you should be able to stand tall, sir.
Now let me also ask, in trying to get to the root of the matter, the Minister of Aviation asked rhetorically, if you are banning Nigeria, then what's the moral justification for coming? Who are you coming to pick in Nigeria? I mean, does that make sense to you? That if Nigerians are banned from direct flights, that's to UK, why would the British Airways, for instance, come here to pick who?
They are picking travelers. They are picking them.
Picking
the high
them.
and mighty.
No. I think we should just
they are picking them. You see, I think what they want to do is that, okay, you cannot fly into our region. But now the next question. How many airlines do we even have as a country? To now say we are going to be hit economically. And that's what I'm saying. Develop this. You see, if our leaders know.
No, you have not really addressed the issue.
Who are they coming to pick?
Who are they coming to pick?
If you allow them in, they are coming to pick those who are traveling.
That leads me to ask the next question. Well, are you sure we are not, this Omicron issue is not really being unnecessarily politicized? Are they, because the UK had earlier said that, well, out of 21 passengers that were tested, 19 were said to have flown in directly from Nigeria. So they have proof of the fact that Omicron was being imported in their country through Nigeria. But is that no reason why they should also place ban on flights coming directly from UK too?
The choice is yours as your nation. You elders have a saying, and I plead to quote. I'll quote in Yoruba and I'll translate it. Wọ́n ní tó bá ń gbọ́ gbégbégbé yá tètè jáde sẹ́yìn kùlé kó má lọ gbé sí ẹ̀yìn ilé ẹ̀. If you are hearing people shouting, oh yeah, carry him, drop him, carry him, drop him, you better step out to go and see what they are carrying and dropping so that they don't drop a corpse behind your house. So we are one of the several nations of the world. So how strong are we? That is the question. So if they say that they won't allow direct flight from Nigeria and they say they have proof, I won't fault that. And right now, a lot of people are traveling. What is the testing capacity? And please, sir, don't forget that Omicron is not like COVID-19 that has severe symptoms.
And it's also COVID, but a variant.
It's a variant of it, but with mild symptoms. You see, and in a situation where somebody can claim to have been vaccinated and have a certificate of vaccination and has not been vaccinated, then you want to look at such a country and say, hey, hold on a while. And if my country is saying, if I cannot come to your country, don't come to my country, I have no problem with that. You see, you are testing your muscles. But I am saying to the federal government of Nigeria, state government of Nigeria, local government of Nigeria, please develop this country so that people don't just threaten us. And look at when we shut the land borders. Ghana reacted in a very disturbing manner. The union started closing down the shops of Nigerians. They imposed levy on them. At a point in time, trucks that were coming to Nigeria between Togo and Benin Republic and Cote d'Ivoire, the Beninois government slammed heavy duties on them, up to about 6 million naira when you convert it from about 9 million sefa, which is about 6 million naira, on those just to retaliate. So can our economy absorb it? We are talking of food scarcity. We are talking of the gruesomely tortuous exchange rate. We are talking, so we need to look inwards. Can any country threaten Switzerland that you call your, no, you cannot do that. Switzerland is standing tall. You could see the tough battle, the economic battle between the USA and China. You know, those are the kind of battles Gideologun wants to see. That Nigeria is now the third richest country in the world. So you can tell anybody to go to hell and then we are not bothered. But when your people are suffering and you are flexing muscle with other countries, it's not the best. My big question
again, okay, go ahead.
Can we still say now that if my president needs medical care now, that we will not take him to the UK? Those are things we want to hear. Can we say now that if somebody is going to the National Assembly, all his children must attend public school so that you know that you must pay ASU? Must we say now that all public servants should go to public hospitals so that you ensure that there are drugs there and the medical doctors who are there are well taken care of so that they don't run out of the country? I was discussing with my elder sister yesterday, you know, talking about the need for health care within their community. And I asked her about a very popular hospital around Ojokoro in Lagos. Many of us will know the hospital. And she told me that was in those days. Where are our medical doctors?
Now, good questions. Let me ask, of what effect do you think this retaliatory move would actually bring about? Yesterday, the British High Commission here yesterday said they were not bothered. The UK was not bothered about that. Now they will still go ahead. They were not bothered about the retaliatory move. Now, of what effect? How long do you think this will continue, for instance?
As long as we want to be subservient, will the UK threaten Singapore? Now I'm asking you, sir. Will the UK threaten UAE? UAE, Nigeria discovered oil in commercial quantity in 1956 in Oloibiri, Niger Delta region. UAE discovered oil in 1958. Go and look at what UAE has done with oil money. Today, sir, this last week, I read a report. NNPC now has 0 remittance to the Federation account because we are spending so much on subsidy. We have 4 refineries that are not working. We spent enough money turning around refineries that are moribund that can build 3 new refineries. So, what are we telling? What are we talking about? So look inwards, sir. Right now we are busy discussing the cost of gas is going up, and because of the importation, sir. Weepingly, in quote, weepingly, pẹ̀lú ẹkún, sir. Nigeria has the largest deposit of proven gas in Africa.
All right.
And yet, gas is out of the reach of the people. So what are we talking about? We hear about oil theft, different kinds of corruption in the land. So are you mortgaging the land? What exactly is going on? So if Nigeria has enough to be the richest country, and we have chosen to be the capital of poverty, it's so bad. Some of us just pray for the wisdom required to be made available to the government, and for the government to embrace the wisdom to maximize our resources. Nigeria is the greatest country in the world by deposited resources.
Now, recently, you just mentioned UAE. Nigeria and UAE were engaged in a diplomatic route, same as what we are just witnessing between Nigeria and UK. Nigeria responded to UAE's ban by also placing a ban on flights coming from UAE. And it seemed to have worked. It was resolved, and the flights were allowed both ways. Now, do you not think that's something that may have encouraged the Minister of Aviation to actually suggest this to the President?
I have endorsed it. It's okay now. You must flex your muscle, and you come to the table to discuss. But the big question we ask in HR is that when you go to the negotiating table, what's your strength? You don't go as a weakling. So the concern of some of us is that let's top up as a nation. Let's be stronger. By resources we are. I agree with my president when he goes out there to say, irrespective of our insecurity, Nigeria is still a destination of investment. I quite agree. There are so many mineral resources in this country. All the energy mix we need for constant electricity are present in Nigeria. Why don't we have electricity? These are big questions. So for how long will we depend on colonial masters, on the Western world? China at a time embarked on isolationism. Isolationism in economics is you isolate yourself and develop your capacity. Now, China is ruling the world economically because they purposed, at a time, sir, by the grace of God, I mean, we've come of age a little, sir. You don't touch China product. You say made in China, it's fake. Oh. But today, they have, so where are we? We have obtained our political independence over 60 years, sir. And we are still going to the UK to treat our president. I mean, I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy. So let's be angry positively. Let's be angry positively. If somebody says, Jide Ologun, you are very, very naughty because you don't understand French language. If I want to be positively angry, I will go and register for a French lesson. So that next time I see that person, I say, yeah, now let's talk French. All this anger, like you said now, at a point, my president said they were bringing ammunition into Nigeria. We locked the land borders. So what did we gain? At a time, we got angry with Twitter. We banned Twitter. What have we gained from it? If by now we have competing innovations in Nigeria, inventions that can effectively override the influence of all those business engagements, we'll be happy. But what are the stories? Electricity bill going up, this one going up, that one going up. You see, so those are the issues, sir. If, for instance, we say you cannot import rice into Nigeria, good. And a bag of rice sells for 2,000 naira. Sir, that's great. But when you say you cannot import rice into Nigeria, and a bag of local rice is about 25,000 naira, and minimum wage is 30,000 naira, it's worrisome. It's worrisome. We must do something about it.
Now, in diplomatic circles, some people are of the opinion that maybe UK should have actually accorded Nigeria respect that is also a sovereign nation by actually discussing this across the table before actually slamming a ban on once a colony of a UK.
In the diplomatic arena, respect is earned. The same allegation was leveled against Nigeria when Nigeria decided to shut down the land borders. It was without consultations with neighboring nations that were to be affected. It was a unilateral decision. Those people also complained that you didn't consult us. And don't forget that within the ECOWAS economic protocols, you have access to free movement of persons and goods. And that we have also signed the African Continental Free Trade Agreement also. But we just wake up and take decisions. So if by your sovereign power you can take decision, you expect another person to also take decision. If in a family one day the wife just wakes up to take a decision that, oh yeah, remove the door of the room, go and put it in the kitchen. The day the husband also wakes up to say, yeah, remove the cooker, go and give our neighbor, you don't complain that he's not consulting you. And that is what we are saying. You see, think your government policies and processes, think them through. Think them through. Build a robust relationship. Public relations is a deliberate, planned and sustained effort to create mutual understanding.
Now, Nigeria is said to have the COVID-19 is said to have risen by over 300%. Now, management of COVID-19 itself, how well are we doing?
We are doing well. Some have been vaccinated, and reportedly some money have gotten paid into private accounts of the agency that is supposed to manage it. But I can let you know that the trust capital gap is wide. You just mentioned 300%, and many Nigerians are asking, where are they? Where are these people? For some Nigerians now, we are just reading about figures, maybe just to collect money, and so we really need to come to the point where our statements can be trusted. And I think it's a problem for us, where there can be veracity. When you say, okay, I obtained this certificate in Nigeria, it can be trusted. Where Nigerians can come out to say, yes, our government cares for us. See, you don't need a prophet to tell you that a man who was buying gas for 3,600 and now has to pay 9,000 will not be sick somehow. If it's not Omicron, it should be Monicron. So there are problems in the land. I went to buy gas in a gas station. I saw a man speaking to himself, and I understood him because I'm a man too. Just wondering, and when you look at the cost of gas, that gas, you cannot smoke it, you cannot drink it. That gas is to cook rice, that the bag of rice is 35,000 naira now. And your children don't want to agree with you that because there is rice, they will not eat meat pie. You see? And school fees is there. And the minimum wage is 30,000 naira. So there are issues in the land. And that's why we are advising everyone that please go and learn politeness and how to keep to yourself in a way. Because many people have mental challenges, economically induced mental challenges, that if you go and provoke them, they can knock you down by the roadside. So
in the case of
these are issues.
In the case of the row between UAE and Nigeria, there's so much pressure actually came from Nigerians who actually felt they had lost so much in terms of trade and other aspects of life. do you suppose that such pressures would come up again from us, from Nigerians? If BA, for instance, is prevented from coming to Nigeria?
Nigerians are highly enterprising. Go to Canada, go to the UK, and Nigeria is populous all over the world. I was in, Columbia Shopping Mall in the USA with my wife, and she needed to do some things, and we met some Israeli. Oh, you guys are from Nigeria. Oh, is your government still punishing you? That was embarrassing for us. They know Nigerians. We are a blessed people. Dubai, there is Baba, is it Baba Naija in Dubai? The man sings Yoruba songs, he sells watches. Nigerians are all over the world doing business. Look at the xenophobia in South Africa. Look at the experience in Ghana. So, for the sake of the generality of the people, look at the best way to relate with your neighbors. Because Nigerians are doing business. They want to travel. Do you know the pains we go through to import things into this country? You have to deal with customs, the clearing duties, and it's difficult. It's difficult. So we need to open up the space.
We need to open up
prosperity.
The space. So we also
and the government has ministries, departments, and agencies that can advise them. But it appears by perception that some people just want to make life difficult for Nigerians. And if you go out now interviewing people, that's what they will tell you. People are disturbed, but you can only say that the siege is over. So
the siege is over. But you haven't told us who blinks first.
You see,
make a prediction.
Let me bring an adage here. So I said I'm not too express. You see, one year I will interpret. I spoke that in Yoruba. That okay, we will see. Does not frighten the rich man, because what will it cost him? And that's what we are saying. Please, the single solution that will bring us the respect we deserve is to develop this country. Let there be prosperity. Let there be prosperity. I mean, let's ask the simple questions. How much flows to Nigeria from the UK? I'm not talking of the money we are borrowing. You compare it with how much flows to the UK from Nigeria. Do you know how much a pound is now, sir? Now, dollar is about 560 naira, conservatively. That means for me to change $1,000, I need over $500,000. So if I'm going to the US and I need $4,000, I'm moving over 2 million naira from this economy. And it's not as if the price has changed over there. Now, if an apple is $5 in the US, how much is it when you convert it to naira? 5 times 560. So, sir, can you go to a Ipodo market now and buy apple for 2,700 naira, one apple? I mean, let's face reality. Develop this country. Let there be prosperity. Let there be security. So that if we need to travel abroad, it's not out of desperation. Let's have our hospitals developed, our education. Look at it now. Those who are fighting education appear to be winning the war. The Boko Haram on one side, the unfair treatment to the ASU on the other side. Different kinds of crises. Are they intentional?
All right, thank you very much. The discussion has actually been on the retaliatory move by the federal government over the ban, the travel ban placed on Nigeria last week by the UK government. Of course, Canada is also affected, Saudi Arabia and some other countries. Now, our guest has been Barrister Jide Olugun. He's been telling us the huge implications of such a row, and Nigeria does not really have the capacity, strength to look UK in the face. But we're asking who blinks first. We don't know yet. Maybe Nigeria, maybe UK, or maybe those other countries. We'll go for a short break now. When we return, it's going to be the issue will shift to insecurity in the land, particularly in the northern region. Yes, you're welcome back. It's still Summit, and we'll be discussing the travel ban. Now we are transiting to insecurity issue. Of course, we'll continue to discuss it until every Nigerian is safe across the land. In Sokoto, in Katsina State, rather, sorry, a serving commissioner was brutally murdered in his home last week. A serving commissioner. That's no news because it's been happening before now, and series of people are dying. Khan, NJI, and Sultan came out last week that Northerners are being murdered in cold blood every day, and that they were actually urging President Muhammadu Buhari to wade into action much more seriously to stop the carnage, to stop the unnecessary killings and deaths of people from the northern region. Of course, it's across Nigeria. People are dying. Just a couple of days ago, a traditional ruler in Imo State was murdered after he had been kidnapped, brought back, and deposited in the marketplace. And that's the extent to which insecurity have actually got to in this country. But the one we're actually concerned about today is a new lexicon in our history. That's terrorism insurance. What that means is that, yes, Nigerians in their different abodes have to succumb to a kind of levy being placed on them by bandits, terrorists, insurgents for their survival and their safety. In Sokoto State, 3 million naira was placed on a particular community. Communities will have to come together and pay the money. Otherwise, the bandits will visit in no time and they will ravage, kill, and do all sorts of criminalities. In Zamfara, now that's the order of the day. A couple of communities are living in fear because they cannot raise the funds or the levy being placed upon them by the insurgents. And those who did not in the past have had to pay dearly for their inability to meet up with the ransom, to the levies and all that. We're asking who is actually entitled to those levies. Is it the legitimate government or the insurgents? But of course, when you ask, people need their lives. They need to survive. So my guest this morning will be helping us to extract Nigeria's loyalty to their governments. How justified? Now, where people have to pay insurgents to live, who do they actually respect? Who did they subscribe to? Who did they place their loyalty with? So that's the issue this morning.
I think obviously when the one you look up to help you secure your lives and properties has failed, that loyalty is lost. If you are still loyal, it's either by compulsion or by foolishness. So let's now lay a foundation. If you look at section 14, subsection 2 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, it says that the security and the welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. So when there is a failure in this primary purpose, then what other purpose is left? It's quite disturbing. And I think these terrorists are advancing. Why? The first aspect of their activities is to create pockets of insecurity. And the second aspect is to begin to offer security in the face of the insecurity to establish their relevance. Okay, if your government cannot protect you, we can protect you, but you have to pay for it. And that is exactly what is going on. And what is the implication of that? They are establishing their rulership over parts of the nation. When Mohammed Omar started the Taliban movement in Afghanistan, he started the same way Mohammed Yusuf started Boko Haram. And we witnessed Afghanistan caving in to the rulership of the Taliban. Right now, Afghanistan is under the control of the Taliban. And many have told us that that cannot happen in Nigeria. It's my prayer that it does not happen. But how do we explain a sovereign nation, Federal Republic of Nigeria, where terrorists hoist their flags? In Niger State, where terrorists blocked the road for 1 week, where terrorists brought down a fighter jet, where terrorists blew a portion of the railway system between Kaduna and Abuja. Where, you can go on and on and on and on and on. So where do you place government? Like you said, the Sultan has come out, the Khan, the Muslim society, everybody. And what I say is that we practice elective democracy in Nigeria, by which at the national level we have a bicameral House of Representatives and the House of Senate, at the state Houses of Assembly. And they have to represent us. And there are things they can do to make the government implement the purpose of government. And if they don't, and they will all come back when their terms are over. And they come and join us in the safe environment where it has become difficult for you to just wake up by 3 a.m. and say you are going to your hometown. I was discussing this with a client yesterday who traveled and came back. The economies of the local communities have been paralyzed. Before, if the likes of us traveled, you stop over at Ose, all those small, those locations by the roadside, you buy palm oil, buy gari, you give their children money, advise them, oh, you go to school very well, or it's good to be educated and things like that. But right now, the moment you step out of your father's compound and you start driving, you are driving to Lagos. You are not stopping anywhere to buy anything, because you don't say because you want to buy 5,000 naira gari, they kidnap you and they're asking your family and friends for 50 million naira. So we have, in a way that appears deliberate, crippled the economy of this nation. And I read a report recently, and my next statement is inspired by that report. That report asks a question: if your leaders are the ones fighting you, what can you do? Because we don't know how else to explain. You can see now terrorists demanding taxes. Recently, ECOWAS released a report of how many billions of naira that these terrorists move through the financial institutions in Nigeria. We will deny these things, but we see them. They are happening.
The question that where your leaders hypothetically are the ones fighting you, does it not sound strange? Because the president, for instance, has actually come out several times to actually order the killings, open killings of the terrorists. Just last week, maybe after the demise of the commissioner, the president dispatched a high-powered military chiefs and leaders to Katsina State to actually engage the governor to find a lasting solution to the incessant killings. Now, why would the government fight us, for instance?
I spoke in parable, but I will punctuate it with precedent. Recently, the home of Honorable Justice Mary Odili was invaded by gunmen. And I rejoice with the Honorable Justice of the Supreme Court for escaping the ugly hands of death. And in the course of investigation, one of the leaders of that team said that he was a consultant to the Attorney General of the Federation. Where is that matter today? I know what I'm saying, sir. Sir, on the 4th of June, 1996, Alhaji Kudirat Abiola was killed in Lagos by unknown gunmen. Later, we found out that state actors were behind that assassination. You still remember the likes of Rogers. You remember this Al Mustafa and all what they did with the paraphernalia of government office. So, I pray for my government that it will succeed in making the people rejoice. The Bible says when the people rejoice, the righteous are in authority. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo said there is a Fulanization agenda against Nigeria. General Theophilus Danjuma said there may be a collusion on ethnic cleansing in Nigeria. And I'm asking a simple question. Those who are chased out of their communities, who have been converted to internally displaced, who replaces them in their communities? I mean, let's face reality. Some of us I've said it, God has blessed me. I'm not living under any fear. But we should say the truth.
Have you not seen high-ranking government officials who have equally fallen victims to this insurgency?
Sir, the insecurity of one is the insecurity of all. Even the president of Afghanistan ran away. The former president of Chad, what happens to him? He was killed by terrorists. Mr. Banji, you can imagine that you saw a rat in your house and you just tell your wife, say, no, a rat. And you even open the door, that, all right, so come in. When you come, we give you where you rest. And now one morning you wake up and find 1,000 rats in your room and you are shouting, oh, hey, neighbors, I'm in trouble, oh, hey, who has rat poison? What we say here are products of research, sir. You go, there's what we call content analysis in evaluation and research. Go and Google. Go and Google. We are complaining about splinter terrorists from Libya, from everywhere. When my president, whom I respect, went to Egypt and said immigrants were welcome to Nigeria to obtain visa on arrival. When UK is profiling those who come into their country, they are asking for highly skilled immigrants. Canada, highly skilled immigrants. Singapore, highly skilled immigrants. UAE, highly skilled immigrants. We are saying you are welcome. And who are the people coming? What do you know about Sudan? What do you know about Chad? What do you know about Yemen? What do you know about Libya? Even the president said that ammunitions are brought into Nigeria from Libya. I quite agree with him because they had a taste of terrorism. Why did they not take the ammunition to Ghana? Why did they not take the ammunition to Benin Republic? Why did they not take the ammunition to Rwanda? Why Nigeria? And you'll be reading reports that people are bringing ammunition on camel back, on motorcycles. I mean, you know, I cannot be tired really. But I'm just praying that God, if man appears to be confused, may God help this nation. This is the greatest country in the world. I love Nigeria. We are here. But this is not what Nigerians deserve. How can you be afraid within your own region? I've said it, sir. One day in this Lagos, I woke up very early and I started driving to the capital of the world. By the way, the capital of the world is Okakoko in Ondo State. I was the one that woke my brother on the bed. Lovely days.
You spoke about economies of those communities in the hinterland being ravaged,
Yes, sir.
being actually brought to knees. But if you actually x-ray the issue, what is actually happening in Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina, those farmers are no longer going to the farm. Because if they do not pay the levies and the taxes, of course their farms will be ravaged, their wives will be raped, they will be killed, slaughtered, and all that. So what's the implication? Do you see the huge implications of that for this economy? Do we need to look far?
Sir, brilliant question. But you have answered it now. When there is a siege, it means people are locked in. Let me give you a biblical scenario. In Joshua chapter 6, from verse 1, the Bible says that the gate of Jericho was shut. Nobody went out, nobody came in, because a wall was round it. But God had proposed to give that land, their possessions to his children, the Israelites. And God said to Joshua, their leader, in Joshua chapter 6, verse 2, that Joshua, don't look at the wall, that I have given unto you Jericho, the mighty men, the kings, everything. That do this in 7 days, and God brought down the wall. So there has been a siege. Farmers cannot go to farm, you know, because of all those crimes. And above, we are focusing on the fact that farmers can hardly go to farm. What about those who are chased away from their communities? Who are the people occupying those communities now? These are the big questions. So we just wake up one day, and God forbids that happens. And you begin to hear strange voices saying, oh yeah, now it's happening in Zamfara, happening in Yobe, the Bay region, you know, Boronu. Okay, so if one day you wake up in the Yanopaja and some people are at the junctions of your house saying that you want to go to office, so yeah, all of you go and contribute 1 million, we start shouting. There is what we call reinforcement theory in industrial psychology, and I put it in a parable. They say that if you want to tame the Iroko tree, you tame it when it is young, not when it is old, because when it is old, you have to make sacrifice. And I think that's the case of this country. But I believe that if this government is resolute to restore security, though we acknowledge all their efforts, it can be restored. The Tucano jets are here now. We spent over $1 million on the Tucano jets. The court has helped, the president was reluctant to declare the bandits as terrorists. The court has helped the government to say they are terrorists. The government has given instruction now to the service chiefs, go and deal with them. How many instructions? Every time, there is evil in the land. We know there is evil in the land. Make sure it does not happen again. There will be no kidnapping of children and students again. I mean, you know, but, sir, the siege is over. That is the hope some of us have, that because we need to experience the joy we deserve in this nation. It's a terrible situation. And like I said, now the terrorists are the ones now offering people respite, security. It's a constitutional aberration.
Now, government has oftentimes come out to assure Nigerians that this will not be on for too long, that very soon the insecurity will become a thing of the past. And we've been hearing that for over a decade now. This president has repeatedly said it, that he would ensure that he decimates the insurgents and all that. People have always said we have the capacity to put an end to this insurgency. Do you not see that we probably will require external support or help to be able to do this?
Is the external support not there? I'm asking you, sir.
Because the government seems to be overwhelmed. The state governors, most of them,
maybe by
some
choice.
of the state governors have actually said,
maybe by choice, sir. Let's deal with the situation. Let's pick micro instances to evaluate the macro instances. At the time, the governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, came out with a law that the criminals in the forest should come out and register that there are criminal activities going on. The Attorney General of the Federation rose up in Abuja to say no, under the Constitution there is freedom of movement. The southern governors came together and said they wanted to make laws against open grazing because of the criminal antecedents. The northern governors rose up and said that cannot be. I mean, are we confused? Is security not relevant anymore? Is there not a unified vision to secure the land? These are questions. These are questions. These are questions, sir.
So in the face of all this confusion, an average Nigerian is still looking up to government to secure either, even the commissioner that was murdered last week, of course the same government would have to probe to find out who the killers were. So it's still the same government.
How many probes? In Borno State, we woke up one morning to a news that over 40 farmers were beheaded. Later we understand the military said they did not seek clearance. So who murdered them? Till now we don't know. Who killed the daughter of Fashionati? Who killed Tolu Arotile? We have all the. Who killed the former chief of air staff, Alex Bade? And we can go on and on and on and on and on. It's not about, we wish this government the best, but again, let's note that history is documenting everything. So, and reference will be made to this regime. And talking about those who are looking up to the government, constitutionally, you have the right to look up to your government for security and welfare. But may I advise that from the look of things, please look up to your God. I don't know the God you serve, but look up to your God. And that God, if the leaders allow him, has wisdom to direct them on what to do. I have said in the course of this program, sir, Nigeria has the largest deposit of proven gas in Africa. And if gas is expensive in Nigeria, we need help. We need serious divine help. You know, you may want to find out what the interest rate is in Switzerland. It's almost zero. And there are great things happen in this world. God proposed that we should rejoice, and He has given us everything abundant. We talked recently, tanker drivers were threatening to go on strike because of bad roads, and yet Ondo State, my state, has the second largest deposit of bitumen in the whole world. I mean, so how do we position all this, sir? I don't understand.
Again, I would ask, in the midst of all this,
yes,
what's your word of advice to those who are confronted with the choice of either paying to government, the legitimate government, or paying for their security?
They do not have a choice here now. Sir, go and read the report again. I know you read it, sir. I'm talking to our viewers now. Go and read it. Some of the community people said they went to the police, went to the military. The police said they should go and pay. The soldiers
should go and pay the insurgents.
Exactly. That there is nothing they can do.
Are you aware that there's a particular community that was levied 2 million naira? They mobilized funds, but they could not get enough. That they couldn't make 2 million. They made maybe 1.5. Yet they were attacked because they failed to actually make the 2 million.
Sir,
so
bandit by definition means a robber or a gang of robbers that operate in a lawless society. The question now is that, has Nigeria become a lawless place where criminals can hijack the affairs of the people from the government? If, as a father in my family, and God forbid, armed robbers knock on the window and I run under the bed and I ask my wife, oh yeah, anything they like, go on. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Then we may as well come to the point where we ask the question, why do we need government? I will never make excuse for government. Why do you ask us to vote for you? Why do we have budgetary allocation?
Or you heard what Baba Conde said to our president last week, that he would not sympathize with him because he actually applied for the job.
Those people are not moved by all those rhetorics. But let me say this, sir. Let me say this. Whether you like it or not, no condition is permanent. But may it be in your turn that history will say this is a season of rejoicing. That's my concern.
All right,
for this nation. And for those who are going through troubles, look up to your God.
Look up to God.
You know, look up to your God.
This
God is kind, is faithful. He will deliver us. And all we can say that the siege is over.
Amen. I think that's a very good point to hang it. The good Lord will deliver Nigeria.
Yeah, God loves
such that Nigeria will be a free country devoid of crisis, irrespective of any form. Yes, before 2023 or before maybe by 2022.
There is nothing God cannot do.
There's nothing God cannot do.
Within 24 hours.
I need to seriously thank you. I need to thank you handsomely well for a job well done.
Thank you.
You've told Nigerians the way forward. I just want to thank you very much for your time and your thoughts. My name is Banji Busari. That's our package today. We'll be seeing you again on Wednesday when I'll hopefully be joined by Jumoke. My name is Banji Busari. Bye-bye. Thank you.